Now, what I'm doing now is saying hello to everybody. Now that I've got my opening screen down, I'm just trying different formats again as usual. And I do have Leanne here. We are on time. So good morning. I was just starting to wonder there for a moment. Not that I had technical issues, but I'd almost forgotten to do the, you clear your cache and you restart your computer and all that. And luckily now with the newer computer setup and everything, I mean, I don't have to sort of just go cross my fingers and hope it actually does reboot like the old MacBook did. So, we are here. So how are you this morning, Leanne?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I can't believe it's Tuesday morning already. It's been, I feel like I haven't even had a weekend yet, but that's okay.
Well, you had a busy weekend, didn't you?
I did.
How did classes and that go?
Oh my God, I was in my element, sitting there teaching, and it's funny because I've always said that I was never a teacher and I'll never write a book, and Spirit has, over the last few years, has really pushed that. So especially probably more the last 3 or 4 years as teaching, but the incredible group of ladies that came together was amazing, and it really, I am so honoured to actually watch these students develop and strengthen, and the looks on their face when they have those aha moments when they get something, it's priceless. I love it. You can't, I don't know, there's no words to put to it. So I just love teaching. So I've literally just taken on the weekend that workshop and I've created it into an online one. So I'm going to be able to reach those people that can't make it to do it face to face. And that will start as the 2nd of May. So I've got details up online on that one already, and I'm already planning the next 2 workshops. I can't help myself. It's crazy.
Oh, that's great.
What about your weekend?
Well, I had a good week. I nearly hit that end broadcast button again. I'm getting like that. Now, I'm just experimenting again with some of the options we have in the background of not mytimetv.live. This is a reminder to those who on our shared posts on our different pages, please do click the link that takes you to mytimetv.live. And that's why I've put that up there at the moment. And I'll also use that in the bottom. I'm not sure how it's going to work because with the setup that I've got at the moment, it shows some stuff at the bottom of my shared screen when I do the cards. I might have that pop up at that point in time too, instead of sharing comments. We'll be playing around with it. Well, not playing around with it. We'll be experimenting a little bit. Well, Leanne won't be. I will be because I'm the one that's got the controls.
I get to sit back and relax today.
Almost. I mean, I love having a chatting time. It's just something that I really like. Purely because I think that life's more than just doing on a show like this, because my intention is for the chat and interaction and adding the cards at some point or another. Whether that's interspersed or whether that's going to be just a section at the end, still experimenting with so much that creates a different feel around it too. And one of the things that we can do, of course, is this. We share that little comment thing. It pops up at the bottom. So hi, Natasha. And we discovered from last week that I need to click the hide the current comment button.
Hey,
I'll
Robin.
be doing that this time. So hi, Robin. How are you? And we've got Michelle Bell. So hi, Michelle.
Hey, one of the beautiful ladies that attended on the weekend. She's amazing.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what's lovely about doing, well, even the type of courses that are just online even, you can still establish isn't quite the word, making new friends. It's actually connecting with people in real ways that you're going deeper than just, the little, I used to call them the warm and fuzzies as far as Facebook and the social media type of things go. It hasn't really been my scene until growing into realizing, look, it's just as valuable to actually have friends online that you may not ever have met, but it still develops and creates what can be close friendships.
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
I'm just turning. I've gone
I think
to the
that was
wrong.
my alert.
I didn't remember to put my phone on airplane mode, so I'm
Either
doing
did
that
I.
now. I still
I've
haven't
just
done the
gone.
checklist, so apologies. Now, I'll just show that again. So share and invite the page, just as a reminder. I was fiddling with my iPad because I thought, well, I will monitor the page like, the Hypnosis Plus one, because I've got that posted on there. Is this posted on there as well? I thought, well, is there any comments? I'm assuming not at the moment. So that's what I was hesitating. I've got, no, not what I can see. I don't know. I mean, this is where I'm computer savvy, but not Facebook savvy. You get what I mean?
And when we do get it, they change it. So
well, they do. Did you find with the cross posting this morning, it wasn't there?
It wasn't there. I didn't get a chance to ask you, but I couldn't see it either. So
yeah, no, it wasn't. So, I've gone back to there. So we've also got, where did I get up to? Amber, Amber now. So, hi, Amber. I know you've got the question already. And I sort of thought, well, as I'm trying to find, hi, Sharon, you did tell me that you were going to be able to join in today as far as online. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
And we've got Bev Mans. Now, I'm not going to go through absolutely every comment doing this, and that's a question. So I'll honour that a bit in a moment, with more in depth in a moment, unless, of course, you want to deal with them as we go.
Go with the flow.
And I'll put us, we're at the big. I thought one of the interesting things with the backside, that sounds interesting. One of the things with the behind the scenes of being a guest on a Be Live show is that you only get to see the one screen, isn't it? You don't get to see all the list of comments unless you're monitoring on another computer or on another tab, isn't it, Leanne?
I can see about 3 comments at the moment through the little comment where it tells you how many people are in the back end, but I can't see them all. And so,
I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm trying to find where my page is to go to that to see if there's anyone on comments there. But I'm just going to leave the iPad. I just can't fiddle with it. It takes too much attention away. This is the multitasking thing. And I do have the eCam working in the background so that this itself is actually, that screen itself is actually the one that's in my background, like beside me, but with the eCam, so that's joined in as a third like camera. And but with that, I actually have to be in the background, changing the screens actually in the eCam so that I can do, and it's that one, and it's that one, and it's that one. So I'm actually going to leave it on that one this time. So you would have seen them change around, but it takes my attention away from what I want to actually be doing, which is speaking with you and looking at those who we've got in our list of comments, because that's what's important. And it's the connecting with the people more so than doing the things. But it makes it really nice and smooth if you can do the things obviously smoothly, but in some sort of sequence. So, in trying to sort that out, it got me to thinking as well with other things I was looking through and what I was being distracted by as usual. Just tell you, I mean, it's not an uncommon story for me when I'm cooking and I do things in the background, like I have something that I'm in the middle of while I'm, on the computer screen, of course, up here in the office. It's a room away. And I thought, no, I'd be safe. I'd just put the chicken schnitzels on to cook in a fry pan this time, and I'd come down just to do a little quick thing. Well, it doesn't always work out, of course. So that night I ate charcoal chicken.
Charcoal chicken,
in a
that's
different
tasty.
way. Because I got distracted and wasn't focusing on what was important at that time. And Tony has told me heaps of times, don't walk away from the stove when you're cooking. You'll burn it every time, which is true. So,
yes, I do have to say, Roz, if you're like me, you come to the computer just to check one thing and it's like, oh, hang on, there's a message there or there's something popping up there. I just need to reply to this person. And next minute, you know, that 2 seconds was 5 minutes, 20 minutes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
my kids just go, yeah, she's gone in there again. She won't come back.
And that's so right. Really is. And it's sort of too in that effort to try to focus on doing the one thing at a time where, you know, the more I put that effort in, sometimes it's the more there's the distractions. Yeah. Like yesterday, I had all these things that I sort of thought, well, I'd do these sorts of things, and it was all pretty much, actually, it wasn't going to be computer focused. It wasn't, not specifically, but I have gone into another course with Chloe Goodchild, which is to do with voice.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was doing the practice of the first module just to catch up because the second class was this morning at 2:30. Which I had the alarm set, and I was woken up, and I was just too tired to do the live. I thought, no, it is recorded. I just need to sleep, so I ignored it. I turned it off and went back to sleep. But it was yesterday in the start of what I was going to do as my practice, and it is to do with using your voice. So you're sitting there doing the ohms, and you're really getting into that space where, you know, you're just closing your eyes and you're hearing really deeply the sounding of the ohms or the sounding of your name, because one of the practices is that too, almost like a mantra. So I was really getting so nicely into that space, and next thing, there's a call on FaceTime. I won't mention who, but it was just that instant sort of, oh God. And from that time, not that it was, unexpected or anything. It's just that my attention, that focus was broken, and the rest of the day was like that. I had a surprise call after that. Oh, can you come up to Mount Barker with me? And so my whole day was away, and I didn't get done what I was intending to. Not that that bothers me, but it's, you know, you have that.
It does. It happens all the time.
From what focus you had initially.
Yeah. I'm a really good one to get up in the morning and go, right, my checklist today is I will do this, 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 and this, and this. And you could bet probably 3 days out of my week, I don't get that list done. It's like the phone's constantly ringing, or somebody's got a drama or something going on where my focus needs to go to that, or, you know, an unexpected client or whatever sort of thing. It's just, I think we just need to go with the flow, not sort of put such structures around us anymore.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my list just gets longer and longer.
Yeah. And I've been trying, as I've been saying on a lot of these mornings, I need to get that checklist written. I still haven't done it either.
Mine's a mental one.
And the noticing there is a few more who have come online to say hello. And hi, Michael. Now, these next two that I'm showing, Michael's asking, is this StreamYard? It's a great video. Now, Michael, this isn't StreamYard. This is actually BeLive.tv, and it's a platform that is used to get into Facebook and Twitch. That's the only option with it at the moment. And I have been made aware of StreamYard, but this is BeLive TV. And what you're seeing, Michael, as well, is with this that screen in the middle is I'm feeding that through via eCam because I've got the Mac. Now, Michael is a guru almost to do with live streaming, and he uses another platform. So that is why I'm explaining it pretty much in detail for your benefit, Michael. Thanks for coming in, because I know it's I can't remember what time it is over there, both US, and
Oh,
Andrew,
wow.
another almost guru. If you want to know anything about Zoom, Andrew is the one that knows a heck of a lot about the Zoom.
Oh,
So
wow.
hi, Andrew. So he's asking that question as well. It is BeLive.tv. So
Yeah.
thanks for popping in. It's great to see friends from and this is connections that I've had from the old Hangout on Air Google Plus days. Google
Yeah.
Plus for a free consumer, which is what I was, isn't available anymore. So we've chosen different avenues to connect.
Oh, there's always new technology coming out, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, there's always other options, and that's where the
Mm.
StreamYard has come in as an option, and OBS, and there's many other ways, as we found out. Facebook Live, the standard. So that's what is there. Now, I'm just going to do another reminder there for those who want to share this out to friends. Make sure, too, that you click on the mytimetv.live link, because that feeds into our MyTime, obviously the MyTime TV. That's the one that we're doing as the back end, so that I can see your comments and questions like I'm showing here, as far as, and Michael's saying, nice. It is good quality video, Michael, and I have the C922 and the C920 cameras, both the Logitech ones. You know what I'm talking about. Some others might. As we know, and Leanne does, because you've got a few of those yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got one camera.
Yeah.
One's enough for me.
Yeah. And it was even, as I was thinking about all this stuff and getting things organised, and, am I going to have it done on time and all the rest, and other things flipping in, your visual while you're actually doing things on Facebook. That's why the distractions are so easy. Because I saw an item that was about the Chinese having a base or 2 or 3 in the Australian territory in the Antarctica. I saw a post somewhere about the Bend Motorsports Park wanting some sort of a special bill put in for, so they don't have to follow the rules of normal state legislation. I saw another post about, there's so much that we have popping up in our site that we can get angry about, that we can be fearful about, that we start to worry about, all of these things. And that got me to thinking, even, in which way I'm choosing to actually present this show. What actually is important to us? What is our sacred cow, so to speak, that we can't do without? Because I'm still going through. Oh, I did have a very old book that I pulled out of Dad's shelf. I'm still trying to go through different things in a house that still has memories and distractions to pass on to somebody else. Do I need to keep this? Pass it on to someone else? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it's a bit more, probably, I suppose, an analysis of, even with the cards that I do in the mornings now, like I've done it, I can't remember how long for. I've just been doing the Lenormand fortune telling daily practice. That's what the spread says in the guidebook. And I don't normally use the guidebooks, but I'm not using the guidebook itself. I'm just using the spread and what it explains, right? And it's supposed to, in the morning you do it, and then in the evening you interpret, did this happen through the day? You do it with intention to predict what your day might look like. And did it actually happen? Just to, gauge, I don't know, it gives you practice. And how accurate is it? How accurate am I interpreting it? And I still think, even in that, there's no sacred cow behind what meaning there is behind any of the cards.
That's right.
Do you feel that way? So for you, what sort of things pop up in your mind when you sort of think, do you have a sacred cow? What is your something that for you would be, it's just something that curiosity kills me sometimes or distracts me.
Yeah, well, that's the point too. It is very distracting. Like, I guess most things I just sort of go with the flow, but when it comes to the cards, my interpretation or my way of thinking is the cards are designed by a very talented creator, so the author of the cards, whether they've done the interpretation, the sketching, both or whatever, they have put their interpretation into that card. Now, when we look at those cards, it's not always what we see. We all work very differently, and I'm a very strong believer in there is no right or wrong, as long as you are doing it within an ethical level sort of thing, or standard, I should say, and you are trusting your intuition and that message is getting through and it's correct and it feels right to you, then it's right. There is, I guess I'm at a point where I'm frustrated with watching the old structure and people in the old ways, or people have been around for a very long time and they're very strict. You've got to do it this way and it's this and that sort of thing. I'm not like that. I'm very different. And so I guess we all have our own beliefs and, religion can come into that. It can be other things as well. And I guess for me, I look at it that there is no right or wrong. I'm not a religious person. I went to Sunday school for a while. I think I managed to get my way out of most weeks somehow, one way or another. But that was more about pleasing the grandparents, so to speak, rather than about my parents in that sense, or my own beliefs. So for me, if something serves you and it works for you, it's right for you. But it's not always going to be right for everybody else. And who is the queen, so to speak, or the king that makes the rules? I know we've got government and all that stuff that they put the rules in there with great intentions that it's going to serve everybody, but it doesn't always work because we are so much individuals in that sense. So for me, I guess for I guess the way to sum it up is I take things as they come. I have my beliefs in not anything that comes to mind, but it's more about what feels right at that time. But I like to think I don't judge others for their beliefs. I might ask questions about their beliefs because I'd like to understand what they believe in, but it doesn't mean it always is going to resonate with me, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure if that's quite the answer you want, but always looking for drugs. But
I'm not expecting any particular answer as such because, like you said, it's neither right nor wrong. It's just what everybody's different understandings and beliefs are. So,
and I think that's where you and I are very similar. Like I know you had that religious upbringing with your parents were quite religious, but you've moved into that light or that energy that serves a purpose for you. You've got that education behind you, but whether you choose to use it or believe in it, or it's not even about believing in it. I guess it's just what fits for you, sort of things.
I think as far as a belief is something that we can hold. It's not something that we actually have to be anchored to as well, because we can change it as we grow and have the awareness coming into our lives around what we've learnt about that belief. It doesn't quite serve my purpose anymore, so you ditch it or modify it, or in whichever way that we do. And it was just interesting. Now I'm just trying to think, how sometimes a story, you just got the edge of it, it's just over there and it's in their head, it's not coming forward, so let that one go. There was something really interesting coming up, then it doesn't want to show up.
It'll come up. Like on the weekend in my workshop, I found myself saying to my students, pretty much, it's not the words I use, but pretty much that I'm not going to sit here and dictate to them that they've got to do this way. I'm going to give you the experiences that I've had that have helped me through and the tools that I've learned to help you work out how you work and to sit in that energy, because we all work very differently. So then I've had a medium say to me, you aren't a medium because you don't see spirit the same way I do. Who's to say she's a medium? Who says that the way she's getting it is right? It's right for her because it serves that purpose, but it doesn't mean it's going to be right for me. So, Yeah.
And that's just the individual exploration and discoveries, and heck, life's an adventure. I mean, I just find it so good, and I've got no idea still how to turn off those notifications individually, so I'll leave it. We'll go with the flow.
That's it. I was just going to say that. I'm all for going with the flow. Cha-ching.
Right. Yeah, and I suppose, you know, as I think about it and how we've just talked about a little bit too, is, I mean, you're never going to fully complete a discussion on anything to do with the sacred cow, you know, the what is actually important to us, because everybody is different, and because everybody has those different patternings of what is in their path, you know, to discover different things, it comes in differently. And no one's going, well, is it no one's going to agree on anything? There's not going to ever be 100% agreement about anything with anybody, because we just can't. How can you when you don't have the same absolute life experience behind you of what's brought you to be where you are in the present moment? So I sort of think, well, really, the holy cow is just being present in the moment, who you are, with who you are, and just continue being open and aware, discover that from within, you know, and experience what is out, and sharing that, which is what we do as our what we do. How do you describe it? You know, we're being a connection with spirit, but everybody's got that ability. We're being a connection with our own self knowledge, self understanding. We, you know, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, that's it. I just noticed Robin has put the wrong ruler. Robin has put a question up there just saying, do religious people believe in psychics? That's an interesting question.
I was just having a look. Where's that one? I'll put it up if I can find it.
Between the two Sarah comments at 10:55.
10:55.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
good.
I find that to be an interesting one, because I would say there's two answers to that. There's the yes and there's the no. I get some really religious people that come to me for readings, and I have had spirit step through that was very strict religion and didn't believe on this stuff, but they could still communicate with me, and I could give the information that was being put forward. So, you know, for somebody to have such a strong religious belief here in this world, but then to still, when they've passed over, to be able to come to me and communicate, I think that's a little bit, in a sense, could be a little bit contradictory if you want to look at it that way. But I would say you're going to have your yeses and your nos with that one, honey. You look at the Jehovah's Witnesses. They believe there's a selected 2400 and all that stuff. I'm not big on religion, and I don't go much into religion on different types as well. But, you know, I've had Jehovah's Witnesses that come to me for readings and stuff. Now, they don't believe in Christmas and birthdays and all that stuff, but I don't question it. I then think, well, hang on, why are you... This is my monkey mind that steps in and goes, well, why are you going down that pathway if it's not in your belief system in that sense? Sometimes I think they get to a certain point in their lives that religion all of a sudden may not always 100% resonate with them. They start to think there is a little bit more, and they start to explore that side of it. So, you know, it's each to their own.
And I think too, I mean, just from my own perspective in the upbringing that I had with the wonderful family that I had, and the parents, grandparents, you know, going back to the whole ancestry of the origins of what religion is, goes back eons. It doesn't matter which one you follow. But even for myself, I went the whole, well, would you say the whole gamut? I didn't, because I didn't go get ordained or anything, but I did do lay preaching. I did, and at that time, the implicitness and the descriptions that were in the Bible were my full belief. That hasn't changed much. It has changed because I've become more open in what my spiritual connection is. And and it's interesting, as I grew into who I am now, how my parents didn't change much of what their beliefs and understandings were of their faith, their religion. They did still change and open up to the fact that what I was doing was right for me, and they did start to see some of those things that I had, as far as, you know, the spirit presences that sometimes pop in, and being able to understand, oh, someone was talking to me, and being able to understand that that was actually possible. And even now that both of those have passed, I haven't had direct messages from them, but and that could be just purely because I'm living in what is still the residual energy of their presence here in this house. I don't know. If I move away, I don't know what's coming up. But it is that moving on with, people who have religion can certainly believe in psychics. For some, it is part of that religion. Now, what's religion? So
that's it. And see, I don't get much information from my loved ones. I can sense them around me at times, but I don't get the communication side of it, simply because my own emotions take over as well. So
I haven't been following what is the chat in the actual comments. I'm just, you know, that one that's underneath, it's caught my eye. So I think, and this is going to take up the whole screen, isn't it? Did Sarah actually have something a little bit more extensive? I'm just trying to find it. Does it actually? Oh yeah, there it is. So it is going to take. We're going to have to do that thing. You know, I quite like that little thing that you had. So I'm going to have to do a screenshot of that one. It's gorgeous. What's my yellow brick road? Help me, 1800 chickens that feel in front house for rights today. Biggest race in front line. Okay. Art and stuff in my head. Feel I'm supposed to ask help, but our art out here. I don't know whether that's something that is legit. Are you reading it? It's very hard to understand all of that. Is it in shorthand? I don't understand.
Different cultures she wants.
Who's with me?
Biggest race in front, longer and queen. Keep putting art and stuff in my head. Okay, so I'd say spirits giving her the images and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to ask help, but our art out there is bigger, and how
aren't out there.
Aren't out there.
Turns her into.
I think there's some letters in different ways, different cultures she wants, etc. Who helps? Who's with me? Help. Okay, I would say she's picking up on spirit, and there's a lot going on
and
as well.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
I think I do feel that you really need to ground your energy, though. So I feel you're very much in your own head at the moment. Okay, so feet on the ground, deep, nice breaths down into your belly, slow it down, and bring your thoughts down to your focus down to your feet, so you're getting out of your head a little bit. All right.
Yeah, and just, I mean, that's another further one on from that 225-year anniversary should be a grant from government. Yeah, and I think that actually does connect in with what's, you know, what that sort of subject is. What's your, what did I ask you first up before we even got on the screen? It was, what's your sacred cow almost.
Yeah,
wasn't
that's it?
Yeah. It's,
and see, that's the thing. We've got
focus.
All these, that's the thing. We've got all these things out there that, like religion, that we've got different cultures attacking other cultures, the governments, the Liberals, the Greenies, the Labor, the Democrats, all that stuff. You've got all this. What's the latest one on TV? I think I seen the other day was vegans, or last night, or something like that. And stuff like protesting.
That. Yeah.
You know what? I'm all for us having a say, but we don't have to bully others. We don't need to. We can do it in a peaceful way. sort of thing. And I think that is a big thing. Yes, we all have our own beliefs and we all have the right to have our own say, but there comes a very fine line when it becomes a bullying sort of tactic.
Yeah.
I get religious, and I don't know if you've had it, Roz. I get religious, I call them religious nuts, so to speak. And excuse me if I upset anybody with that. I don't mean to, but they push their religion on us. Yeah, they push their religion on us. You know, you don't need to stop the scroll if you don't like something you see. So keep going. You know,
you just don't continue. You just don't continue with it. I find that interesting because when you say that, I have seen on some of your feeds, you know, the comment list and the rest, and I'm aware, yes, you do get personal you know, in your messages, things, some of that stuff, and I sort of think, oh, thank goodness I'm not big enough, you know, important enough, famous enough, or anything like that. I don't attract them. Thank you very much. Do not.
Don't send me away. That's okay.
Only lovely stuff. But if you don't have that, how do you grow in the strength of what you actually do want to put out there to be able to explain to those who are the naysayers and those with the negative? I still don't believe in there being the negative and positive of things. It just is. It gives us different perspective. It's a different opinion. It's a different, and in that difference, that's where, you know, you go to the supermarket, you've got choices. We've got political parties, we've got choices. We've got religions, we've got choices. We've got choices. When you choose what you do, you also are responsible for the consequences of any actions you put to it. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. Because we do need to be responsible for anything that we decide. The actions and consequences are, you know, intertwined. Take responsibility.
Oh, exactly.
So, and I just noticed too, with you know, having dealt with that, what Sarah had put up, and yes, definitely needing grounding and focus, not the picking like she had happened there. When we talk to the guides, how can you separate your thoughts with their messages when asking? If that makes sense. It does make sense, because it can, like Sarah experienced, it can come in with all that. It was a lot to try and read, let alone how was she experiencing that in the head, or how she's getting it.
Exactly. Yeah, and there is a very fine line, Robin, to what is your guides' messages and what is what I call our monkey mind. Our monkey mind is our own thoughts, process, and all that noise that is in our head. So it's learning how to still that and trust in what you get before your monkey mind steps in and starts to go, well, was that their message, or was it my head, or was it, you know, a lot of the time my stuff comes through my thoughts, that sort of thing, but they feel like my thoughts, but I know they're not. So it's all practice. Let's just keep practicing.
Yeah. And part of that is, you've asked the question, Robin, as well, what crystals can I use to help my stomach issues? When I flipped past that, because I did flip past it a lot earlier, straight away I got the amethyst and the rose quartz. Is there anything else just quickly on that one that you can suggest?
I would also,
because you've got the crystals there.
Let's see. Half of them are still in my car from the weekend. I would suggest maybe looking at crystals for your root chakra and your solar plex, honey. So maybe your jaspers, your citrine, so your reds and your orangey yellow sort of stones as well, because it could be sitting in your chakras. I did see your post last night, and I think it's in your energy, honey. It's not the physical. So you need to be doing this work. You need to be going further with it. Okay? Maybe check out my beginner's online course starting in May. Okay?
Good suggestions. Yep. Yeah. So just take a breath. I'm just going to ask Amber, because I've figured I should probably start again. It's not that I slot in a time slot for this discussion and then we're doing the cards and then, you know, like we do, we go with the flow. But I did just notice the time and thought, well, last week we didn't do any card readings, do any psychic readings or anything, week readings. This week we better do at least a few. But I have noticed here, there you go, Amber, but you haven't been specific. It's just, have we got anything for you today? So if you could put something in the list that is more specific, and that's the same for anyone that wants a reading. It's to have value in what you're getting as an answer. General just doesn't really cut it enough when it's this type of show. That's just my opinion on it. Be as specific as you can. And the Lenormand cards definitely give a bit more of a definite answer with the way that they are a literal card. Leanne can focus more on the energy around what is that question and what she's getting for you. I mean, she's really good at any type of reading anyway. And there is no better one person better than another. I've got 11:11 on my computer.
Yay! Yeah, me too. I've seen that too when you said that.
So, right, this one is a very specific one too.
Yeah.
With
just
what?
Quickly, just your comment about one's not better than the other. I am such a believer in that. So I want to just say to what Roz's comment was, there is none, like we all do our own things. We all have our own strengths in different areas. But just because we stand out in one area and somebody else doesn't mean that we are any better. We are all equals, no matter your religion, your culture, what it is that you do for a job. We are here on this earth to do certain things. We have a journey. So we are no better. To me, the politics are no better than you and I or anybody else. So, we're here for a purpose and we've all got lessons to learn. We learn them in our own ways. We all have our strengths and we have our weaknesses. We're even. I'm a very big believer in that. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Roz.
Thank you for giving a comment on it. So that's how we flow.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And this one from Bev is a specific question. Hi, ladies. Can you tell me why my daughter's boyfriend is being nasty and lying? Will he cause trouble over the little baby? So that's really specific. It's very public. It's really specific. Good.
I get there's a lot of underlying issues with him, honey, and I feel there's a lot of anger that has been held on to for a long period of time. So I just feel like there is something in that relationship that your daughter triggers in him or mirrors that he doesn't like within himself. So to me, I do feel that it's his issues that he needs to work through. So there's some energy there that he's been holding on to. I think they both love the little boy and their baby equally. At this stage, I don't think that he will cause any trouble, providing that he has access to that child as well. All right. So wish you all the very best with that.
And just on that, because you did ask specifically about the travel, well, it's just an awareness thing. It might be the niggle in the background, but if that's where your focus is going, it's what you're going to notice. If it's, what layout do I use for this one? No. See, this is the not playing around. This is the using tools for the focus, and it's not going to line up the way I wanted it. I wanted the mouse to be the main one. It's just not. Sorry about the motion sickness if that's what you had there. So I'll drop that one down and out now. Thank you, Beth, for your answer. The next one that I did draw from that was actually and I've changed the card, so I won't bother with that. It was actually the book. So I think it's just looking more to getting some help by various means to help out with that. Whether it's, do a course on helping or someone doing a course. Actually, I feel like it's communication. So, yeah, oops. And Kathy's asking, will I make the right decision concerning my hubby and will I find some work soon?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So that one can be as simple as that. When the questions are specific, the answers can be just as easy and specific. Yep. And for yourself to go back into feeling your own intuition around it, work from the heart and center in there. Because I think you probably sense that for yourself anyway.
Mm.
Oh, this we've done with, Robin, haven't we? With the crystals, sorry.
Yeah, we did.
Now, and I think this one here from Amber was actually referring back to when we were talking about the focus of things, and I really do like that thingy of the sacred cow. And it's funny how some things, they do pop in the head and the rest. A friend did share one of the images. It was the cyclist running away from the cow chasing him. So I think that's probably where that cow thing and what do we hold sacred? What am I going to chuck out? Married. If you picked cards, how do you read them and know it's for me?
Okay. Did you want to do that one, or you want me to?
Yeah, I will.
I knew that was coming. I didn't have to be psychic for that one.
Purely because, and I'll go solo with this one, because, and I'm just going to try a little thing here in the background. I'll take off your comment, Tracy, and I'm going to go into my Be Live. I'm bringing this up to the broadcast, and I'll solo this. That's the table. I'm going into my eCam, and I'm hoping that it will actually include me in it.
Yes.
Yes, cool, good. I'm still experimenting with how I'm meant to use the eCam.
That's clever. When
you use cards, when you use any tool for an intuitive, psychic, intention, that's what it is. It's the intention that we're using these, for instance, Myla Normand, as the tool. And it's going to assist in giving guidance. The cards themselves are an inanimate object. They are just going to be sitting here. I'm going to have the side of me too, because that camera's not there, where it usually is when I do this. So I'll be backwards and forwards. It'll be fuzzy because the camera will struggle to focus. So under here, when I put the cards out, at that point in time, they're just cards to you, to me, to anybody else looking at them. What they have with the handling by a reader is the intention to be a reading for you as the person receiving the reading. So what you're actually getting is that intention of the energy connection that is what I access through to spirit in whatever way that happens. And I don't know the absolute physics of that. If you look at quantum physics, it gives a jolly good explanation of a lot of stuff that's really weird, and you'd think no way in the world, but it can be proven to be a fact. So, and that's where our understanding gets a bit challenged. So it can be a challenge to understand fully what happens when you're reading for somebody else and when you're receiving a reading. A girlfriend recently had a reading she did for somebody that, in her practice of discovering new set of cards, not knowing the cards, just read them out, and the person hearing that reading for them said, oh, I don't like them, do another lot. Well, it doesn't work like that. Whatever number of times that you're going to shuffle, it'll be the same information, because the intention is for you to have information relevant to you at this point in time, at this moment. You still have the choice to change anything that shows up in them. It is not set in concrete. It is energy. Energy is vibration. Vibration moves. It's the whole nature of it. So in this one, you've actually got 11 as the whip, and 34 is fish, and 21 is mountains. Now, for me, and as I was shuffling them, I concentrated on your name and that this was for you. So to me, it's just meaning there's something that you're needing to crack a whip about, like get into action. And that is going to create an abundant area in your life. Now, I don't know whether it's to do with money, business, or whatever, but it's something that's a challenge that you've been working at for it feels to me like it's been a fair while that you've been working at something, and it just seems like it's a fair block. It's that mountain in the way. Crack a whip and get moving and acting on it. Even just the persistence of cracking a whip and keeping that flow moving. It's going to be like the fish schooling together and being that abundance for you. And they do group together. It brings forward more energy to push through and actually get to the top of the mountain. So whatever it is that you've been challenged with, it will be something that's going to move forward and over the top. And I've got a rock in my throat. So I'm going back to the live, and I'll drop that down. And I think it brings Leanne and I back together. And that was in answer to, if you pick the cards, how do we know they're for you? Because that was the intention.
There's always intention in everything we do. Yeah. So it's the same with a psychic reading or a mediumship reading. When a client comes to have a reading, I set my intentions with what I call my team, my guides, my loved ones, those that help me do the connection side of it, to give my client what they need for today and to move forward. So that intention is already placed there, whether it's through cards or it's through the energy that we are connecting with straight up. So you go to work, you go to work to have an intention to do certain things. Usually you do something to get paid for it, sort of thing, for your services. You get in the car, your intention is to drive that car to reach point A, from point A to point B. It's everything we do has an intention. And with us, we fine tune that intention is put into that person that we are reading for. Would be my way of explaining it as well. So
hopefully that helped you to understand the yes. You know, the how, the yes, it is. Yeah. Morning, ladies. Just wondering why my life is always so hard. It's always full of struggles with so many downs. Just wondering, will it ever change?
Okay. For starters, you've got to change your thought process, honey. So, Jodie, I want to say start focusing on the positive things rather than life being full of those negative things. The struggles are the negative. What's the lessons in this stuff that you need to learn as well? So everything happens for a reason. Every situation has a lesson in it. And if we're not learning those lessons, those situations will keep representing themselves. But like I said, you need to change your thought process. The more you can focus on the positive energy rather than the negative, you will find that the more positive abundance and that good energy will come in around you, sort of thing. So I always say to people, when the negative comes up, acknowledge it and let it go. Give gratitude, let it go. Change that thought process then to a positive thought. So you're replacing that negative with a positive, and then you're allowing that positive energy to manifest around you. It's the same for those that will bring up finances. When are my finances going to improve? They're not going to improve when you're focusing on the bills that you've got. When you see yourself having that money come in and you're opening yourself up. Sometimes we've got to feel the pain. Sometimes we do that to ourselves without realizing. So some of those struggles, and reading your comment, I actually felt that at the moment you've had to feel the pain for a reason. Okay, but there's growth that will come from that. This energy has now changed from the retrograde, thank God, the Mercury retrograde. So things should start getting a bit easier, but we need to do the work as well mentally. Okay.
Yep. And with that as well, I'll put you, I wonder how the comment shows up. Oh, it does. Cool. Now I just need to get that up a bit further. Oh, I do like that. I am on the solo with the comment this time, so, and that actually hides a little bit at the bottom that the eCam doesn't let me drop off, or I haven't found out how yet. So what you've got here is 43 is the card called Labyrinth, and that to me is reflecting some of that confusion of life, you know, feeling like it is so hard for you. But you've got Rider coming in with something that's going to be a message for you that is actually going to open the door. That is key. That card number 33, it's a power card, it's double digit. So take that as, being able to open whichever one of those messages that you're getting, but it is coming back a bit more to also I think focus again, but it's I'm feeling there's things that's just not quite coming clearly to me, but it is that there is that freedom, there's that setting something free that's coming up. Is there anything you're getting along that line there, Leanne, to expand on that one? Just with those cards, I'm just not getting it.
Okay. Sorry, I was distracted by Sarah's comments, so I wasn't actually taking a lot of that.
Right. No, that's all right.
That's okay. But I just got that Tracy needs to put herself first. I feel that she needs to focus on her and work on her. So when you do that, honey, and you honor yourself instead of putting everybody else before yourself, you will flow. Things will open up, is the reference that I get for that.
Yeah, so, I think too that's, whoops, I've got to drop that down, otherwise you're seeing that as the solo right now. Yeah, I think that's good. Thank you. It did clarify that key.
Yeah, does that tie in with what you were saying? I totally zoned out. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Was there something that caught your mind that you want me to put up on screen?
No, not really. I don't think it's something to bring up in more of a public forum like that.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yeah, I'm seeing what you mean.
Yeah, maybe Sarah, I think there's a lot going on. You might need to look outside your show and ask for more help, sort of thing. Okay, I'll just think about that.
Yeah, I think so. And, where was I looking just then? There was one I just went and whizzed past that I didn't want to, I think. Have we done that? That one. No, no, I probably hadn't. That's fine. I like talking to myself.
You got a quiet house at times.
Sorry about that. Well,
my house is quiet.
It's one of those things. The beauty and luxury of having silence. Honestly, and I'm going to do the solo on that one, and I will just for the moment put the thing down. Behind me is confusion because it's something that I still haven't cleared the house of. I mean, I've done energy clearing, but I haven't cleared the house of the physical, and in that, even those physical things might still hold some energy connections that I may not have cleared fully, thoroughly, and etc. That's not bothering me at the moment because partly what for me is a process is to just take the time. There isn't a need to push and rush and have everything done all at once because I had enough of that post funerals. 2 within a year, and it wore me down to a degree. I was already doing it, having silence as just part of my daily experience, even before I came to look after Mum here. But it's more of a special thing now that even though that there is road noise, there's other things happening around and there's busyness in the stuff that's lying around that holds energy, there's still that practice, and it takes practice to create that silence, to actually have that silence and be in that as my space, being able to, and I think that actually answers someone else's question here too, in how to do something or other around connecting or whatever. Wasn't it? I haven't been monitoring all of the comments. It's being it just allows that beingness of being, but it's amazing what you actually hear within that space of just silence. It's one of the tricks. It's one of the things with hypnotherapy. You getting a person into a zone where you're encouraging them that one of the phrases that you use is you're not going to be able to hear any of the outside sounds that are around you, even the cars speeding past and all the rest. It's almost like that self-hypnotic space, that inner being that I'm getting into, that it's just so peaceful. It's beautiful creating that space, even if it's only for the minute, extending it to the 5 minutes. And if it gets to an hour, I'm jolly lucky because it doesn't happen for that long. And I'm not pushing that. I don't aim to be a meditation guru or, you know, someone sitting on the mountain just doing the OMs all day. That's not the intention. I want my space. I want my connection. And that's what happens in that time. Yeah.
I do see a comment there from Adair-hun, and I'm just wondering if we can touch on that one, because I know Adair, around 11:28, Adair gives so much to everybody else, so I think it'd be nice to answer that for her, sort of thing as well. So I don't know if you want to draw a card around that, but I will.
Is that the one?
Yep, that's it. I will give my I want to say guidance. There's a lot of confusion going on around this, honey. So to me, it's the feeling there's a lot going on and it's just getting more out of hand at the moment with that. I do know a little bit about that situation in that sense, but my feeling is, yes, it will change in the near future. But my feeling is there's going to be a dramatic change. So whether he needs to go into more of a full-time facility, I just get a reference to it is taking a toll on mum's physical being as well with that. So to me, I just feel like we're going to have ups and downs until it does come to that point where that decision needs to be made. Now, I know that isn't what mum wants, but I do feel that even if it's a part, like a few days in and a few days out type of thing, it is that feeling that is needed. Okay. All right. So and I'm going to feeling there.
I'm going to drop the comment and go solo with the cards that came up for you, Adair. It's actually the dice, the labyrinth. Whoops, my finger is wandering. The labyrinth. They're beautiful cards. The camera here isn't doing the colours justice. The rider, and you also have the letter there. So I think that actually does support quite well what Leanne was saying and describing. It is like the roll of the dice, which way the decision of what you need to be doing. That's what it feels like. It feels like it is a roll of the dice. And yeah, there's certain pathways that could be followed with the labyrinth, but there'll be one that is the right one. There'll be a message coming through as far as to which, that will confirm for you which is going to be what decision you need to make. And letter is usually something to do with a contract or that line of communication. So I think that,
So to me, I do feel that the outcome's going to be the same no matter what, but it is more so the feeling of the timing. It's about the timing. How much further can we push this out? Okay. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you for asking too. Thank you. And we have got a couple of thank yous and a feedback there from Jody. Thank you so much. Spot on. Sometimes it is hard to focus on yourself, always trying to keep everyone else happy. And that is what a lot of women find, because that's part of our nature. We're nurturers as mothers, sisters, friends. You don't have to be a mother to still be a nurturer. So
that's it.
And thank you, Adair. So, look, thank you, everybody. Time has gone past again like it's flying on the wings of an eagle, really. It just does. So I didn't even realise it was 11:30. So thank you for the prompt on a finisher there, Leanne, before we did finish. Because, it's such an enjoyable time to just discuss some things sometimes and share it out. Because if you don't ask questions, you don't know answers sometimes. It goes back to that question, you don't know what you don't know. Statement, that is.
I want to just say, when you get an answer, sit with it. trust your feelings, what you feel, because sometimes we have the answers within inside of us as well. We don't always need to necessarily, now I know this is probably the wrong thing to say, we don't necessarily always need to have a psychic to give us those answers. We need to live, we need to experience life, sort of thing. And you may go out there and have readings with people that you don't quite feel that fits. You need to trust that. It might not fit in your life right now. It may fit later. It may not, sort of thing. But you are in control. You have the choice of what goes on in your life. You are, you need to stand in your own power, your own strength, your own light, so to speak, and just shine. Be beautiful. Be at peace with everything.
Yes. Thank you, Raywin. And also, I'll just close with this one that Robin's put out. Maybe she needs to do the course, and I'll just make the comment.
Honestly, think it would be funny.
Yeah. Look, with anything that you feel, an intuitive gut feeling that you need to follow as far as learning new things and courses and the rest, go with your gut feeling. Ask that inner being the question, do I really need to learn this? Do I need this for my growth, for my development, for the good of all? Because sometimes it's not just about what we need to learn. It could be something that you're getting a message to learn for a future purpose. And you go with who you're being led to. So that's all I'll say on that one too. So because we do need to close.
Whether it's with myself or somebody else, you just follow that journey, that pathway.
And it is to the point, like you said, Leanne, it doesn't always need a psychic medium. You be guided, be connected to your spiritual inner soul self, and you'll know where you're meant to be going. And it doesn't hurt to ask if you need some help, which is what we do.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I will close on that now. So thank you, everybody. Next week, same time, same channel. And I've got the thing up on there already, so you're only hearing my voice. Our voice is behind the screen. So thank you, everybody. Catch you next week.
Bye.